There is a piece of news that is absolutely critical, yet many people haven't realized its severity. China is quietly rolling out a new taxation model. To put it simply, it merges several types of taxes into what is called a local integrated tax, and then grants local governments a specific power, the authority to adjust tax rates at any time based on their own fiscal gaps. What does this mean? It means, however much money you lack is however much you will tax. If you understand even a little bit about institutional systems, you'll know how big of a problem this is. China is not a federal state. Unlike the US, which has federal and local taxes with clearly defined boundaries, for example, property tax is naturally a local tax that local governments have the legal right to adjust, China has always been a highly centralized system. Local governments never originally had the power to adjust tax rates at will. Now, they've suddenly been given it. This isn't called reform. This is called giving local governments a legalized license to loot. The central government's message is simple. Stop asking me for money. I'm short on cash myself. But I will allow you to solve the problem on your own. How will they solve it? From whom will they seek a solution? Naturally, from those of you, the ordinary people, who still have a bit of money, particularly the urban middle class, those with some savings, a couple of properties, a steady income, and a pension. You think you're safe? Quite the opposite. You are the target. And against this very background, an incredibly absurd event has taken place.
Location Shanghai.
A 56-year-old woman, a typical member of the urban middle class, independent, educated, owning a house and a car with savings, suddenly passed away from a heart attack. That isn't the point. The point is, she had 6.85 million RMB in her bank account. She left no will, had no children, and was divorced. According to standard legal logic, this money should be inherited by her parents. That is the most basic order of succession. But what happened next was straight out of magical realism. The local government agency, the Civil Affairs Department, stepped in directly to sue her parents. The reason? Because she didn't leave a will, it can be presumed that she might have wanted to donate the money to the state. Do you understand? It wasn't that she said she wanted to donate. It's that the government interpreted it for her, deciding she should have wanted to donate. Thus, a bizarre situation emerged. The government became a, quote, competing heir for her estate. There are even claims that the majority of the assets should go to the government. Think about how deranged this logic is. No will right-pointing arrow does not default to the family right-pointing arrow, but instead can be interpreted as wanting to donate to the state. Who would dare not write a will in the future? Not writing a will now equals a default agreement that the state can come and carve up your money. What's even more ironic? This kind of thing might even be packaged as positive energy. They'll say this person was noble, thinking of the country even in death, and might even hold her up as a role model or propaganda example. This is no longer just a dispute in the ordinary sense. It is a total inversion of values. When many people hear me say these things, they think it's a joke, an exaggeration, or something preposterous. But the problem is, it's not that I am exaggerating, it's that reality itself is too absurd. When reality becomes absurd to a certain degree, no matter how normal the language you use to describe it, it sounds like satire. That's why I've been reminding people of one thing. If you are an ordinary person in China with no money, there's really nothing to say. But if you have a bit of wealth, you are already on the watch list. While you are alive, you are consumed in various ways. After you die, you might not even be able to protect your legacy. This is why there has always been a saying in China, wealth doesn't last 3 generations. Many people think it's a matter of family management. It isn't. The essence is, power has no constraints. In a system where power can interpret rules at will or even rewrite them, then ultimately, all of your property is merely temporarily held in your name. You think 6 million isn't much? Under today's fiscal pressure, that is already a prime cut of meat. Who would let it go? So the conclusion is simple. Stop fantasizing that it won't happen to me. Stop thinking that small players won't be affected. The reality is, even a small player like you is factored into the calculation. Even if it's just meat on a fly's leg, it's still meat.